Hey, this is going to be a TNA Impact review for the 16th of April. I'm reliably informed by my calendar. That's too small for me to read from here. And I thought this was a very good show. I thought they got the balance just right. I felt they pleased the fans tonight. A good surprise with Christopher Daniels coming back, even if you did know, like I did, that he was coming back. And yeah, just a good show. Two very good wrestling matches. One very good wrestling match, that being the one between Chris Sabin, Homicide, and Naito from No Limit, and one good wrestling match, very good for a TV match, between Christopher Daniels and Kurt Angle. Then we get, start off the show. First we get the opening promo of the night, AJ Styles promo. He talks about his loss to Scott Steiner a couple of weeks ago in the Lethal Lockdown Advantage Challenge match, and how Jeff Jarrett accidentally interfered in that match. And he says, yeah, that's okay, that was just an honest mistake, but he's worried about the rumours he's hearing that Jeff Jarrett is planning to join the Main Event Mafia, and that he's talking to Scott Steiner. He's in bed with Scott Steiner, if you will. Jarrett comes out and says, how dare you question my loyalty? The problem with the young wrestlers in the back today is that they don't trust anyone. And all that sort of young wrestler talk just reminded me of Sting 6 months ago with all those respect tirades, etc. So clearly they're setting up for Jeff Jarrett to turn on the front line, if they exist, and join the Main Event Mafia at Lockdown. And I want them to do it. I'm sick and tired of wrestling companies setting up to do swerves and then not doing them. Like the WrestleMania, I was expecting a swerve in the John Cena Big Show Edge match. I thought John Cena might even go heel there, but it just didn't happen. And same with Triple H Orton, same with TNA the last few months, and I just want them to do a swerve. I'm so used to watching wrestling with swerves that I now actually want it. And this is a perfect opportunity. Jeff Jarrett is much better as a heel. He makes sense within the Main Event Mafia, and this storyline really hasn't had any twists in it. Usually you can rely on Vince Russo to do a storyline which doesn't make all that much sense, but at least has lots and lots of twists and turns in it. And there just hasn't been one. Yeah, there hasn't been one member defecting from the front line to the Mafia, or from the Mafia to the front line. Yeah, we want a twist. This is a good storyline for a twist. Anyway, yeah, then the Main Event Mafia music plays. Sorry for that sidetrack. Kurt Angle comes out and he says, in the spirit of honesty to Jeff Jarrett, he's going to tell him that Kevin Nash can't wrestle tonight, and he would like to replace Kevin Nash tonight and face the fourth member of Team Jarrett to determine who gets the advantage at Lethal Lockdown. When is Kevin Nash going to wrestle again? He's been out for a long time now, and I'm not sure if they know if he's going to be back for Sunday. I feel like they might be selling this pay-per-view with, false information. And they've already done that once with Kevin Nash. They already said he was going to be in that match. I can't remember what the pay-per-view was called. But he was replaced by Cute Kit. And, they better not be doing it again. Just don't false advertise if you don't know he's coming. But yeah, hopefully he'll be there. Anyway, yeah. AJ Styles says, well, if Kevin Nash can't wrestle, then we get the advantage at Lethal Lockdown, you forfeit. Kurt Angle plays Jeff Jarrett like one of Jarrett's smashable guitars, and says, oh, sorry, AJ, I didn't realize you were in charge tonight. Jarrett, of course, is furious at this, and he says he's going to make an executive decision because he's in charge, and he just agrees with everything the Mafia says, basically. Then we get one of several sort of 30-second backstage interview type things tonight with Sheikh Abdul-Bashir, basically just talking about his new group and how powerful they are. First match of the night, and the match of the night not by miles, because there was actually a good match at the end, but this was a really good match between Chris Sabin, Homicide, and Naito. And lots of great spots in this. There was a great moment when Sabin did a monkey flip, Homicide landed on his feet, and then Naito hit him with a perfect drop kick. Naito did a sort of corkscrew off the top rope. Homicide took out both members of No Limit with a front flip suicide dive, and which he carried on over the barricade and rammed his head into the wall. It was just really good. There was a great moment where Naito had Homicide in a camel clutch position. Sabin came off the ropes, delivered a perfect low drop kick to his face. Then Sabin got Homicide in the camel clutch position for Naito to do the same. As Naito came off the ropes, Sabin stood up and hit with a clothesline. And I like that because I feel Chris Sabin does too much, I'm just a really good wrestler, watch me wrestle. And to do a bit of storytelling in a match is always a beneficial thing, and that was a really good bit of storytelling. So I was happy to see that. Anyway, the match ends when Sabin's on the top rope for some reason. I don't know what he was planning to do on the top rope here, but he's on there for some time. Homicide pushes him off the top rope and then does a 187, which is sort of a cutter from the middle rope on Naito, and gets the pin. Really good match, sort of like 6-7 minute match, no rest holds, they just went out and did it. It was really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Then we get an Abyss segment with Jim Cornette talking about how he needs a match to work out his frustrations with the Dr. Stevie situation. ODB comes in and talks about how she's supposed to wrestle at Lockdown and she hasn't had an opponent on Impact in weeks. Why hasn't ODB wrestled in weeks? Like, there is no reason for this. They just clearly, I don't know, they think she's not a good enough wrestler to be as over as she is, or I have no idea, to live up to how over she is. But yeah, anyway, so Jim Cornette decided it was going to be a mixed tag match tonight, Abyss and the woman of his choosing versus ODB and Cody Deaner. Then we get one of Mike Tenay's famous sit-down interviews with Jeff Jarrett. He asked the same question a few times about Mick Foley. Jarrett just says, yeah, wasn't expecting him to do this when I hired him. Wasn't expecting him to go mental, become Cactus Jack again. And then he talks about Scott Steiner and how his wife used to like him, etc., etc. Not really much to glean from this promo. Like, I didn't feel this interview set out clearly what it wanted to say. I think Don West said it best when he said that Jeff Jarrett was just waffling and which side was he really on, and to which Mike Tenay had no answer. Then we had a little interview with Kurt Angle saying that he doesn't care who Jeff Jarrett's fourth member of the team is. He's just going to beat them tonight and get the advantage at Lockdown. I wouldn't mention it, but why does JB always interview Kurt Angle when he's getting ready to undress? Anyway, then we had Taylor Wilde, Awesome Kong, and Raisha Saeed, because Kong and Saeed are face now, or at least tweening, versus the Beautiful People, all three members, Sky, Rain, I never noticed that before, Sky and Rain, and Love, Sky, Rain and Love. Your usual Divas match where they don't really have time to put knockouts match, where they don't really have time to put a knockouts match on. They all go outside the ring, brawl for a bit. Kong and Love get in the ring. Love has about 5 seconds of offense. Kong hits the implant buster and wins. Basically, this match was just build up for the after-match segment in which the Beautiful People show their dominance by cutting Kong's hair. Basically, they beat up Kong. Then Velvet Sky ties the women's title belt round the turnbuckle, and then Angelina Love Irish whips both Taylor Wilde and Raisha Saeed into Rain and Sky, who flapjack both those people onto the belt, which looked pretty good. Particularly Taylor Wilde looks like it really hurt her face, which is entertaining. And then they cut Kong's hair, and then we go backstage after the match, and Kong's going absolutely crazy, which is good, because we like it when Kong's crazy. Team 3D promo, they meet Brother Runt and Balls Mahoney, who come in to wish them luck. I feel you will have a grander purpose than wishing them luck, but okay. Just enough time to do ODB and Cody Deaner versus Abyss and Daphne. We get a Daphne chant at the start, slightly surprising. I thought ODB was the most over person, but whatever. ODB and Daphne exchange slaps. This is a really boring match. Abyss tags in. Cody Deaner looks scared. Cody Deaner is a wrestler, and everyone knows he's a wrestler. Surely this is not good for his wrestling career, him getting viciously squashed by Abyss here. But Abyss wins it with the Black Hole Slam, and afterwards Matt Morgan comes out and hits the Carbon Footprint. Yeah, I didn't know that that feud was still going on either, but apparently it is. Okay, turn over to part 2.